Alright, now that spring is here and the trout fish is picking up, I'm going to share with you guys 5 tips of things you should stop doing while trout fishing to catch more fish. First tip is not clearing the bank. So a lot of people do this in bass fishing. They clear the bank before they approach. They throw in right where they're going to be standing. So I'm going to be over here by this eddy. They'll throw in before they get up to the bank in order to not spook any fish. Bass love to hang out on the bank, but trout do too. They like to hang out in the eddies. And that gets me to my second tip here, is reading the water. We have this tree stump right here. Let's create a nice little eddy. You gotta know before you throw. All right, so you know that that's a slower piece of water, and you can see right here the Boise is up really high right now due to some of the release from the spring runoff. So the trout are gonna be looking for anywhere with slow water. So we're gonna, before we even get close to the bank, we're gonna throw right into that eddy a few times just to see if we can catch a fish. So, or if there's anything hanging out there on bait before we walk up there and spook everything out. So let's give it a couple throws, and let's see if I can get it right. Take a couple throws over there. Run through that little eddy line. Oop, oop. Oh, we got it. All right. As always, got weeds, but we're going to throw a couple times here and make sure it's nice and clear before I walk over there and spook everything and anything inside. Alright, we got lots of grass. That spot is usually actually the ledge we stand on to fish here in this spot. So we're going to give it a couple throws here. Oop, right into the tree. That's not what I wanted. Oh, and I got somebody else's line. Bonus tip, guys. Clean up after yourself. Untangle here. Alright, now that we've cleared the bank, what is it that we throw? Now, see, I got a lot of friends I fish with that suffer from what I call analysis paralysis. And that used to be me. I used to come out with a big old bag with every lure I had for trout, and I'd spend more time retying every 3 seconds than actually fishing. And a few years back, I actually switched to this little guy, a little tiny over-the-shoulder bag. And basically what that does for me is that makes sure that I don't overpack. And I try to keep down to just one tackle box for the day. So based on the season and you know, where I'm fishing, I pack a tackle box just for that day. So this is what I packed for today, which you can see is just a couple of Rapala jerk baits, a little grasshopper because it's fun, and some spinners and a little tube. I packed these because I know that that's what works on the river. I packed this neon green or chartreuse tube because I knew the water was going to be pretty cloudy from all of the dam release. So I try to keep what I am throwing down to a minimum, especially in early spring, to just what I know works that time of season. Right now I'm throwing little tiny Rapala jerk baits. As it warms up and the crawdads come out, I'm going to swap these guys out for micro craws, which I think Rebel makes them. I'll throw a link in the profile. They work great as soon as those crawdads come out. The trout love them. It's just absolute candy to them. So we're going to get out here. We're going to toss a few. You know, the river is really moving right now, so you know, not a lot of high hopes here. But we're going to hit that eddy one more time just because it looks like a great spot for trout, and nothing. Stop right there. 95% of you guys are not subscribed to my channel, so do me a favor, go down there, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. You'll be notified when I release new videos. I'm going to try to do them weekly this spring and summer. And you know, while you're at it, go down there and drop a comment. Drop a comment in every one of my videos you see. It helps the algorithm, it helps YouTube recommend my videos and put them in front of more people so we can all have fun together out here on the water catching fish. Next tip I can give you, as you can see, we're in a new spot. I'm going to clear the bank here. But the next big mistake I see people making is they don't move enough trout fishing. Right now it's too cold for me to get in the water. I need new pair of waders, so we're not doing that, and the flow's really high. So I've actually driven to another spot. But I do see a lot of people who will just make 100 casts off the same spot on the same bank at the same time of day every time they go, and then get frustrated they're not getting anything. Now, you know, that is a trap you can easily fall into, just, you know, hanging out casting, but really you have to move along to find those trout. I give a spot about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. If nothing's there, I'm out. I move to the next spot. Just saw a beaver pop up over there. So I'm out. I move on to the next spot just because, you know, I'm a dad, I got kids, I got a wife, I got family, I got responsibilities. I want to catch the fish, so I got to move around to catch fish. I got to go find them. They're not going to find me. So we're going to give this spot, you know, about 20 more minutes, then we're going to move on to the next one. So let's give it a go, see if we can pull anything out of here. I didn't get anything when I cleared the bank, but... Bonus tip. If you haven't been catching anything, I've been throwing this floating Rapala. If you're not catching, give it at least one lure switch before you change spots. They might be into something a little more subtle or something that makes more noise. Just depends. Just make your switches. Don't stick to the same bait over and over again. You know, switch it up with that little box you brought. You know, make sure you give kind of each one a try, but don't spend a lot of time switching baits, but don't spend a lot of time throwing the same thing. I know it sounds wild, but it's a thin line you gotta walk. As you can see, I'm taking my own advice and I'm swapping to another spot. Didn't find anything, got no nibbles, no bites, so I moved downriver a little bit. And we're going to give it a few spots here in this little eddy right here, which is super high right now. But we're going to give it a go. Alright, that brings me to my very last tip, and that is temper your expectations. I can't tell you how many friends I have brought out fishing for their first time. And they cast and they cast, they fish with me all day, and maybe I'm catching fish, but they catch nothing. And you know what? I've been doing it for 20 years, it's their first time, but they get dejected and they get discouraged, and that's the key. You gotta understand, it's all a learning process. It takes time to learn to read the river, to figure out what the fish are biting, to learn the patterns. It's super helpful to go with somebody that knows what they're doing, but there's just no substitute for casting that line and retrieving and learning that cadence and learning those retrieves. It all takes time, so temper your expectations. Go out fishing and just enjoy being outdoors. I mean, it's gorgeous out here, so you might as well enjoy it while you're out here away from the city. You know, I go out fishing expecting to catch nothing. I came out here today knowing this river was going to be raging, knowing that there's very little chance that I'm going to be catching fish in the Boise for at least a month or two as the snow runoff gets let out of Lucky Peak up there and down into all the agriculture land through the canals. This river is going to be raging, but once it warms up, we're going to get out here on the paddle boards and we're going to get out here on the paddle boards and we're going to, you know, hit all the deep holes and try to find that slow moving water when and where we can, away from the, you know, highly pressured spots like this one. This one's right off the side of the road. I'm sure you've seen it in some of my videos. I come here all the time because it's quick and it's easy. And those are the 5 things you can stop doing while trout fishing to improve your chances to catch more trout.